Hi, everyone. We are Team Leslie from the BeadSmith. I'm Leslie Rogowski, Creative Director, and my partner in crime there as the other half of Team Leslie is Leslie Pope. We live just outside of Philadelphia. I see everybody listing all the places that you're tuning in from, which is very exciting. Hope everybody is in a safe area. It's been a nutty summer. Anyway, welcome to BeadSmith Presents our product showcase for summer of 2023. And I have a lot of things lined up here to share with you. As Felicia told you, this is being recorded, so don't worry if you feel like you're missing something. You can go back and watch it at your leisure, at your convenience, pause it, rewind it, all that wonderful, good tech stuff. So let's jump in. The first thing I want to show you is our power spinner. So here's the box that it comes in, so you know what to look for. Okay, the spin and string power spinner is battery operated. It works on 2 AA batteries, which just go into a little compartment in the back. And it comes with a removable little bowl that has a lid. I have mine preloaded there. And 2 more stackable. I know it's hard with this camera angle, but you can see that they're stackable and they kind of sit right in. And these also have lids. And if you can look at the back, you'll see there's a little indentation on these that fits right on the spindle in the power spinner. And my favorite thing of all about this, next to the fact that it's so lightweight and has 3 little containers, is that when you turn it on, you can turn it clockwise or counterclockwise, depending on what works for you and your hand orientation and how you like to hold the needle. So that's very handy. So I have loaded this little bowl with size 8 seed beads. Just a bunch. The needles are very ingenious. They have a curved end, and the other end is where the eye is of the needle. Now, the eye in this is the size of a regular beading needle. So if you want to use Eslon, which is what I'm going to show you in my little mini demo today, here's the trick. You make a bigger eye by taking a piece of wildfire or Nymo, something thin that will fit through the eye, and you just make a loop and tie a knot at the end. So then you can take the end of a cord that may be too thick to go through the actual eye of the needle and put it through your big giant eye, just like this. And now you'll be able to string beads right over the needle, over your eye thread, and onto your Eslon or your heavier cord. So let's show you how this works. Now, I will tell you that it does take a little practice and getting used to, but you'll get it. So here's the little switch on the side. So this is going clockwise in my direction, or you can go counterclockwise, and it's entirely up to you. Everybody can hear me okay over the noise of the power spinner? Is that good, Leslie? You can hear me, right? Okay, I'm going to switch my direction, and it doesn't speed up or slow down. But what you want to do is kind of brush the hook end of this across the surface of the beads, and they will start to climb up. Can you see them climbing up the needle there? And then you're going to turn it and pull them over onto your cord like this. Let's do that again. You have the hook end of the needle, and you're going to rest the curved part with the pointed end just brushing the surface of the beads that you're stringing. And you can see them climb right up. Cool, right? Really fast. This is an excellent tool for anybody that does stringing designs. that needs to string a lot. It's so much faster than doing one at a time. It's perfect for things like bead crochet, multiple strand styles, like waist beads, which are really very stylish right now in the summertime, multiple layered ropes. The only limitations are that you really can't use beads much bigger than an 8 or maybe a 6. But you can go smaller. 11s and 8s are ideal for this. So that is the BeadSmith Power Spinner. I'm going to gather up my stuff. It comes with 2 needles and a little spool of Nymo. But you can use anything, like I said. You want to remember the trick about making a bigger eye so you can string things on the cord of your choice. There you go. All right, and we'd love to hear what you think about these. I'm going to move these off to the side.
I just want to interject, I call it fishing for beads.
Fishing for beads is right. And like I said, don't be discouraged if they start to pop out or you feel like, you know, you want to be careful when you remove the needle so that you don't lose everything that you just hooked. All right, so that's that. The next thing we have, I love this. This is our Easy Knotter. This is by Maureen Rini Oliveto invented this. And I believe she may be doing a workshop on this too, and I have one coming up later. It's very ingenious. Basically, it's a platform that has metric and American measurements on either side, and a little spindle you can see sticking up. You can use this lefty, righty, it doesn't matter. But here's the secret to this. You can get really precisely placed knots in between your beads along a strand very quickly and accurately. All right, so I have a piece of Eslon. I just have a bead stopper on one end. You can start, as Rini often recommends, you can start by attaching a clasp at one end. I'm not going to get into that today. I have an Easy Knotter demo in September, and you'll be able to sign up for that if you want more details. All right, let's get my little light reflection out of the way. There we go. Okay, so I have pre-strung some beads, and I want you to see, can you see that I have 6mm glass pearls, and some of them have little size 11s between them. And I'm doing this demo to show you that sometimes your thread, the knot, may go through the hole in your bead if the bead hole's too big. So what you want to do is string a little bead on each side. That'll hold the knot. So here's what you do. I have the spindle in my non-dominant hand. I'm going to make a little X, and I'm going to reach through the loop and pull the strand of beads through, and I'm going to place the knot. It's a half hitch on my spindle. I put my finger there so I don't lose it, and I keep the loop of what I just made pointing to myself and pull it in, and now I can pull this to wherever I want. So I'm going to pull a bead down. Whoops, let's do that again. Okay. So loop towards myself, finger on the spindle, pull it to where I want it. Now I'm going to drop a bead down. Now I want to make a knot on the other side, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to pull this. I want the knot to stay there first, so I'm going to take 2 fingers on my thumb, and I'm going to grab the bead on the spindle like a little tripod, and I'm going to lift it and give a yank, and my knot is right there. Now I'm going to make another knot, but this time maybe I want it to be a ½ an inch away. So I'm going to do a little X, bring the beads through the loop, put it on the spindle, hold my finger there so it doesn't get slide off, and I'm going to turn this around because I want you to see that I'm going to have the knot, the bead that I already strung right at my 1/2 inch mark. Now I have a knot that's exactly a 1/2 inch. I'm going to take my fingers and do the same thing, pull it off, give a tug with my other hand, and now I have exactly a 1/2 inch. Now I can bring another bead down, and I'm going to do the same thing by making a knot and on the spindle and then tightening it up one more time, because this is not a whole workshop, it's just a little demo. So you can see I made my 1/2 hitch. I'm going to put it on the spindle with the knot facing me, put my finger on it, and now I'm going to pull again so that my bead is at the 1/2 inch mark from the spindle. Here. Hold it with my fingers, lift it off the spindle, give a tug. Now I have a 1/2 inch between my beads. There you go. That's the Easy Knotter. It's lightweight. It's absolutely fabulous. There's a lot of information that comes in the box. So look for my class on the Easy Knotter Fall Flare Necklace coming up, I believe, in September. And I will take you through in a much more detailed way how to use this very cool tool. I've never used anything as precise as this for knotting.
And I think the necklace on the cover of the box is one of the ones I did. So if I can do it, anybody can do it.
There you go. Nice going with
Yeah.
those gum pearls. Yeah. Well, I will share with you a little bit too, just because it's such a cool tool. Here's another necklace I made, and you can see how I used all different shapes of beads, including little size 11s, because the rounds at the ends, the knots kind of slid into. So there you go. The Easy Knotter from the BeadSmith. The next thing, these are all such cool tools, I can't stand it. We have a tool called the one-step looper. Here, I'll take this wire off. I just put that there so I wouldn't forget. It's an almost one-step looper. What it does is make a loop and trim your wire in one gesture. So I'm right-handed. I have this in my right hand. If you look at the nose, when I close it, you'll see there's a little blade that comes up. So here's how this works. I'm going to take the end of my wire and I'm going to stick it in between here. Come on. No, I bent my wire. That would help. Okay. Am I on camera? Yes. Okay. So there's a hole through the back if you need to have it stick all the way out. But so I have my wire like this, and this is coming perpendicular out from the looper, and I'm going to squeeze it closed. Did you see how that little loop closed? And then I'm going to open it up. Now, I say it's not always just a one step because it will make a loop, and then you can take a round nose and finish closing it up. So what this does is it gives you same size loops. Now, I told you that I held this in my right hand. What's new is our lefty looper. So for left-handers, it works exactly the same way. Let me trim my wire here where it was bent. Always cover your wire when you snip it. Now, this is going in my left hand, so the wire comes in from the other way. And I'm not totally ambidextrous here, but I'll show you. Same thing, you're going to stick it in between the little space and right to the end. There's the wire sticking out the back. And I'm going to squeeze it closed. And there's your little loop. Same size as the one that I just did, because this is the 1.5 millimeter looper. These do come in 3 sizes, but if you're doing, oh my gosh, linked components, chains, rosaries, ear wires, all you need to do then to finesse it is to use your round nose pliers to maybe close it up a little bit, and you're set. But way faster and more accurate than trying to use your round nose over and over and over. So this is an excellent, excellent tool to have in your basic toolbox.
Saves on hand fatigue as well.
It does.
To do that.
And
Yeah.
there's a step-by-step on the back that explains exactly what I just told you to. And of course, the little QR code, that's sort of our lives right now, right? All right. I can't tell you how fun it is when I working for the BeadSmith and getting all this new stuff. And I'm going to bring out this right now. All right, because I have tools in this cute little crafter keeper. This is called. This is silicone, soft and expandable. It's got a nice weighted base, so it's not going to tip over. And you can use this just to stick your tools in however they're going to fit. I like mine to stick out on the side so that I can grab the handle, but you can stick your scissors into a skinnier one. So it's a really good travel pal for when you're in classes and you need something that's not going to take up very much room when you pack. This is the tool keeper, the craft keeper, and I can't find the box. Ah, sorry. All right. So I have my set of tools. So I'm going to talk to you about these right now. This is the BeadSmith Superfine Series 4 set, 4-piece set. You get a flush cut wire snip, a flat nose, a chain nose, which is narrower than a flat nose, and a round nose, basics. And look at the size. I have small hands. These are very strong, but scaled down so that not only does it fit at a really comfortable place where it hits your hand, and even if you have larger hands, it's not a big span, so it makes them very handy to use and perfect for getting into tight little areas because the noses and the tools themselves are very finely made. They have a nice box hinge and they come in a case with all 4 of them. So these are the ERGO tools, the Superfine Series 4-piece plier set, which are now available through Michael's with the case. I'm going to take my tools out again because I'm going to need them and put this aside. These tools are great for our anti-tarnish wire. And I'm going to get them out for you right now. Here we go. Anti-tarnish wire is exactly what it says. It's tarnish resistant. It comes in a bunch of gauges in different colors. There's gold, silver, copper, antique brass, antique copper, and rose gold in this little set. This happens to be 22 gauge, but the anti-tarnish really is anti-tarnish. Everything tarnishes, but this, I haven't had things tarnish on things that I've made yet. So, you know, you will keep that nice gloss and that shine. This is good for any of your wire works, wire wrapping. There's thinner gauge, 24, 26, 28 gauge. So you can do crochet, wire crochet. You can do very fine wrap loops. And I believe it goes up to 16 gauge, which is quite nice and heavy. And it comes in, you get bigger spools, ask, you know, about that. I like the assortment because usually I'm using just a little bit of wire. So this is our anti-tarnish wire. And let's see, while I'm talking about wire, I want to share the stepped round mandrel with you. Since beads is really my thing, this is something that was sort of new to me. I knew what a ring mandrel was, but I wanted to find out what the advantage was of having something that has these little steps in it. And here's what it does. This is so cool. I made a ton of these little rings on this wire. And the advantage to this is that when you're working with wire on it, it's not going to slide down further than the size that you pick because it has that little rim there. So if I do a real fast little demo for you, I'm going to take a piece of 20 gauge wire and I'm going to cut about a 12-inch piece. And I'm going to put an 8mm fire polish round on. You can play around with all kinds of beads for this. I did not invent this design. It's all over the place. It's one of the easiest things to learn. So I'm bringing the ends of the wire together and I'm just going to make sure I do this so that my bead is in the middle of the wire. All right, then I'm going to take it and I'm going to hold my bead right where I want it on the step. And I'm holding it on both sides and I'm going to bring one wire around over and the other wire around under. And again, I can hold this right on the step, right on the part, so it doesn't change size while I'm working with it. Now I'm going to take one wire and I'm going to wrap it. Let me hold this still. You can see that I changed my hands around. And I want you to know that this ring mandrel is so lightweight. It's a very hard, durable plastic. So I'm going to take one wire and I'm going to wrap it around this way. I'm going to take the other wire and wrap it around this way and pull them snug around my bead. Now I'm going to slide it off. And I'm going to take my flat nose pliers here. First, I can do this with my fingers, so because 20 gauge is still pretty soft. All I'm doing is taking that tail and I'm bringing it through the ring and over the top. And now I'm going to take my flat nose and I'm going to squash that down. Then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And I'm going to take the wire sticking out here over the ring band wires, bring it through and bring it around and squash it flat. And you can do this a couple times so you have something nice and decorative that looks like that. And I like to trim my wires from this on the top so it doesn't stick me. So I'm just going to take my nice ERGO flush cutters and trim that off and do the same thing on the other side. There you go. So how long did that take me? Like 30 seconds? You get really fast with these. But that's what really, really helps you to have the stepped ring mandrel. So there we go for that.
So did you make that first ring in my size?
Pardon me?
Did you make that first ring in my size?
Oh, I have lots of rings your size. Look how much fun I had with this.
Oh, next time I'm over, I'm gonna have to try some rings on.
Right? Look at this, just like little cute little things that you can make with the stepped ring mandrel and some anti-tarnish wire. All right. You don't want to see what's on the side of my desk where I'm shoving all this stuff now.
It's not on camera, it doesn't matter.
I know. We planned it that way. Okay. Then let's get back to beading. The BeadSmith bead bumpers. Okay, these are really big. Can we switch back to make me? There we go. You can see the size of these. This is a lovely, lovely, like a Velux surface with a padded rim. Big rectangle, big oval. They're very, very sturdy. I've worked with this just flat on my lap. It's nicely finished in the back with a piece of felt attached. And this is like just the right height of a rim, so it's not going to interfere with you getting your beads. The Bead Bumper from the BeadSmith in 2 sizes. All right, let's work. Oh, I have to take my rings off. They're going to get stuck and stuff. There we go. All right, the next thing, I absolutely love working with a loom. So let's come back to my mat and I'll show you about the Loom Ease. There we go. This is a beginner loom. All right, get that out of there. It's very lightweight. It's easy to assemble. It's comes in a box. Let me get this out of the way. I'll show you how it's put together. It comes with thread, a needle, an assortment of delica beads, and instructions. So there's illustrated instructions inside with a whole alphabet charted out for you. So here's like, this is enough for one bracelet that comes with the loom, but obviously once you learn how to do this, you're gonna want more. There's your thread here and a little silicone slider, because the kind of bracelet that you can make with this is gonna be adjustable with the little slider in it. And that's part of the kit, but obviously the loom's capabilities go way further than making this. You're only limited as to the length and width. Here's how this goes. A loom has a headstock and a footstock. There's 2 side pieces. You're going to want the little pegs to be on the outside, and you're just going to slide it right into these little notches. You can see there's some adjustability because there's another notch that makes it smaller. And I'm just going to do this. Now we're ready to go. That's the loom. Like all looms, it has a place for your threads to go. And the pegs are where you're going to wrap your warp. This is what it looks like when you have your threads strung. They're looped around the little peg, and you go back and forth. And if you want to learn how to weave on a loom, please tune in this coming Thursday, August 24th, for a workshop specifically with this loom. I believe it's 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern. LoomEEZ. Perfect if you want to learn the process of weaving on a loom. Like I said, I love it. It's one of my favorite things to do. This little loom, you just get all these really cute little bracelets besides this one. Like this. These don't have the adjustable, but this uses the pattern that has the letters on it. So you can really personalize your little loom bracelet however you want. Very easy. And directions on how to weave and how to put the loom together, how to string the warp, all of which I'm going to go through in detail in my class day after tomorrow. Bead weaving. Talk about traditional craft. All right, the next thing. Oh, this is very cool. All right. The Pickup Artist is a way to lift and place flat back crystals really, really easily without being fiddly with your fingers. It has
not getting glue all over your fingers either.
No, you are not. It has a waxy tip and 2 little arms, one bigger than the other, and a scoop on the end. You see that little scoop there. So this is how this works. I actually brought a piece of paper over so I don't get glue on my mat either. All right. So I already started blinging up my tape measure by putting little crystals on, and now I'm going to demo and add some more. I recommend hypo cement. It has a very, very fine tip. And you only need a dab of it. So I'm just eyeballing this, and I'm just going to put just a little dot in between each of the beads. Right in the center. And then, as we say, have fun putting the thing back in. Come on. This is the hardest part of this. Oh, I'll get to it. Okay, now I have my flat back crystals. And I'm just using SS16. And I'm going to use my pickup artist to just touch it and put it right down. And then I can use the little arms to move it around. This bigger arm actually, can you see how it has an indentation in it? That's really handy because it kind of fits right over the sort of the pinnacle of the flat back. And I can use it to position these just like that. That's all there is to it. I mean, you can use this for so many different things. I'm sure it'll work with paper crafts, and there we go. But look how fast that is that I'm doing this. So bling, 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 just in time for the blingy holidays, right? The pickup artist. And don't you love that it's purple? I mean, come on, you know? All right. That is the pickup artist. Now, one of the things I love the most about the new things at Michael's are our table cut beads. These come in strands in so many different shapes and sizes and colors and themes. Holy cow. Flowers, leaves, and fall stuff, really exotic looking things. There's Dilos de los Muertes, there's hearts, there's angels. So the sky's the limit for the table cuts. Are just super, super fun. I mentioned that I'm doing earrings. That's actually going to be this Friday, 3 o'clock Eastern time, the workshop. These are called Delish Dangles. And what I did, because the strands of table cuts tend to have this variety in them, they're just fabulous to play with and to make designs with. So I took beads from one of these strands, this one, as it happens, and I chose the big ones and some little ones, and I used head pins to do a little bit of wire wrapping up through the end cap, this beautiful little tulip end cap, which you can get at Michael's, to make earrings. And then coming up in September, we'll have something that really shows these off, with making lots of dangles on jump rings to make this very lush looking necklace. And I happen to really like the aqua color, so I got myself a couple strands of that, and I supplemented with glass pearls and seed beads to do the strand and a simple lobster clasp. And we're going to learn how to do that. We'll put the date up. I believe it is on September 20th is the table cut necklace. The knotter project that I mentioned we're going to do using table cuts is this, and I picked out 2 different strands, leaves and flowers, supplemented again with glass pearls and some bicones and some seed beads, and made just a lovely, lovely seasonal necklace for fall. So that's coming up also in September. Table cuts. I mean, aren't they cool? Like, there's got to be colors that you guys like in this. Was there a question list?
Yeah, someone wants to explain what's a table cut.
Okay. They're called table cuts. These are check glass pressed beads, and they're called table cut because they actually do have a thickness to them. Not all of them, but the table cuts are strung together with complementary other shapes and beads. They may have little faceted beads like this. They may also, you may get more or less, fewer table cuts, but you can see how there's a nice substance to them the way they're made. And then you can get all these other different beads to put in there. So that's why they're called table cuts. Because of that, because of the thickness, and they're flat. Did that answer your question? These are table cuts too, even though they're really tiny, because of the thickness to them. They really have a nice presence. All right. And that is the end of BeadSmith product showcase for now. You can come back to me, and I want to say thanks so much to Felicia for being our tech monitor. Always giant thanks to Leslie Pope.
I have, can I give you one clarification on the table cut?
Yes.
Okay, not only are they a pressed glass bead, but they use a grindstone to make sure both sides of them are flat.
Ah,
So that's the other half of the table cut. So
Thank
I just thought I would get that in. Just did a quick Google search.
Oh no, that's great. I mean, I made an assumption when I first ran into them that that's why they were called table cut. So it has to do with the fact that they're very evenly ground on both sides. Yeah. So again, on behalf of the BeadSmith and Michaels, with thanks to Leslie Pope and Michaels Felicia for her tech management, and a shout out to Maddie, who helps me through the process. She wasn't on today. I hope you had fun. I hope you were inspired, and I hope you learned something to make you a better beader. Hope to see you in my other workshops. Thanks so much for joining us.